بصي ده احمد. بس ما بعرفش اتكلم معاه كلمتين على بعض.
ما شاء الله، ده جميل قوي.
يعني هو اصلا خدمته في سينا. هو شغال ايه؟ دكتور جراح في القصر العيني. وبعدين اللي واثقه في نفسها ما بتعملش الحاجات دي. اطلعي بره شويه يا رباب.
هتصلي؟
لا هرقص.
لسه راجع من يوم طويل، كنا بنصور اعلان.
احمد؟ ده الواد طلع مزدجان. هي احلى ولا انا؟ طب والله يا ابني ما خدش منك غير كلامها بس.
انت هبله وهتفضلي طول عمرك هبله، هي حاجه تانية.
بقول لك ايه، هو مواليد كام؟ وانا ايش عرف امي؟
يا حبيبي معلش، انا لسه مع امي وقدامي شويه صغيره على ما اخلص. مالك صاحبتي؟
صاحبتك؟ امال انت ازاي كنت بتحب سعاد؟
ما تعيطيش.
انا ما بعيطش. امال بشتغل ايه؟
بشتغل على السوشيال ميديا، على فيسبوك وانستجرام وتيك توك. مش فاهم اي حاجه وعايزين نبوس. نبوس انا.
بس الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين.
انا مش عايزه يبقى في ما بيننا كلام تاني.
مالك يا سعاد، في ايه؟
ممكن ما تختفيش تاني.
Hello and welcome to this BFI Woman with a Movie Camera Q&A. I'm Alia Ayman. I'm a co-founder of the Cairo-based Alia Cinema and a co-programmer of The Time is New Contemporary Selections of Arab Cinema, which will start at the BFI in September. Today, I'm joined by Ayten Amin to talk about Souad. Ayten, thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations on the film and the great feedback.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
There are so many things to talk about, but I think just to warm up the conversation a bit, I think I'd like to ask you about your choice to have the film take place mostly outside of Cairo, between Zaazee and Alexandria. So how does the fact that it is outside of Cairo, you think, add to the story, and what inspired you to tell the story in the first place?
Well, in the beginning, I was just thinking of the two girls, and I was thinking about the relationship with the social media. And when I started working with my co-writer Mahmoud Azzat, and Mahmoud is an influencer in a sort of way, because he has like thousands of followers on Twitter. And when I started telling him the story, I told him that I really want them to be based outside of Cairo, just like this. I at the time I really didn't have a reason. I felt that I want to tell the story outside of Cairo. And then when I started telling him the initial idea, he told me about followers he has from small cities, from different cities, from Tanta, from Zaazee, and from a lot of places. So when he started telling me about them, and then we did like a folder with all of these girls and with details about them, and we started to contact them and to have interviews and like conversations with them. It seemed like an audition, but it was more of a conversation, and each one had like for 3 hours. And then based on these conversations, we started writing the film. So actually, when I met them, I truly felt that I really want to make this out of Cairo, because the struggles or the things that they are facing are different than girls in Cairo. And at the same time, I don't know, I felt that they're not there. I don't watch films or TV series with them. We don't have these kind of heroes who are from outside. So I don't know, I felt that I really wanted to go there, and even the guy's place, I didn't want it to be Cairo, I wanted to be Alexandria, for two reasons. Because girls from small cities, they always want to go to Alexandria. For them, it's like a dream city, and it's a place for the summer and stuff like this. So I felt that Alexandria represents something big for them. And at the same time, I really didn't want to shoot in Cairo. I thought that it's why don't we make all of the film outside of Cairo? Why is it that I have to go back to Cairo? So we started even doing research with influencers from Alexandria, and we auditioned influencers from Alexandria for at a certain point. One of them was going to play the role, but it didn't work out. He had like parts of it, but he didn't do the role that well. So on the other side, when we did like Bordeaux conversations with influencers who come from Alexandria.
I'm glad you started by talking about the writing and the research, because I had a question about the writing as well, because the structure of the film is not your typical straightforward story. And although it's very much character driven, it's not exactly a hero's journey. There's something very special about how you chose to tell that particular story and how you chose to structure the film. So was the idea from the beginning is to have it be told in this way, or was this something that came about as you were writing or as you were editing even?
No, the structure, we had it from the beginning, but it was not there with the initial idea. When I had the initial idea, it was about the little girl going to a journey because of her sister, and that was it. So when I started telling Mahmoud the story, I was telling him, do you think we should start there or we should start with a journey? And then we decided together, no, we want to tell the story from the beginning. So this was like from the first time we met, we talked about it, and we decided that really this is the way we want to tell the story. And we kept the structure till the end. Even we changed a lot of stuff, a lot of details. Even in the editing, we changed. We had a lot of improvisations, so we changed even chronologically how the scenes and how the film is told chronologically. But at the same time, the structure is the same.
And you're also talking about a lot of research with actual influencers and actual people, and conversations that are very much sort of like with real life characters, right? And this, I think, contributes to the very special mood of the film, which makes it feel like at times it's a documentary, right? So, and this very realist aesthetic, I think, has not only to do with the cinematography, but also the locations, and the dialogue is incredible. Like it was very difficult for me to imagine this dialogue being written. So I wanted to ask you about how much improvisation was there in the writing itself, and also why you chose to go for this documentary aesthetic, how you think it helps your story.
Well, يعني هو it seems mostly improvised, but actually a lot is written. يعني Mahmoud wrote a lot of the dialogues of the girls, mainly. A lot of details of the dialogues of the girls Mahmoud wrote. And he has like this, I don't know, he has like this perception about women and girls. He knows what they say. So it's so most of it is actually written, but at the same time, what we were doing, the process was a bit different, because when we finished casting and we started doing the rehearsals, I started doing the rehearsals without the script. So I was just telling them the ideas of the scenes, and we kept doing trying them out, and one of and sometimes they would read the scene and do it, and then they would do it again their way. And I was always shooting with my mobile. And when I went back to Cairo to Mahmoud, I was showing him the videos, and we were rewriting again. He started rewriting the scenes according to what was happening in the rehearsals. So part of the details remained the same. At the same time, he was changing parts of the dialogue with the girls' input. So this is how we actually started working with the improvisation. And when we started shooting, we had like a second phase in the improvisation, is because they knew the characters very well. We spent like 5 months doing rehearsals, so they knew everything about the character. So and I told them from the beginning that unless I say cut, you have to go on. So whatever happens in the scene, you will still be in character. So parts of the details were improvised during the scenes with the parts that we really want there, and at the same time, some scenes were totally improvised. Actually, like Mahmoud had the idea of having them of having the little girl shooting her sister and putting on makeup, but it was not written. So it was like an idea. So when we were shooting, we finished shooting the morning scenes, and we were waiting to do like 2 night scenes. So we had this gap of 2 hours. So I decided to do it, and we made it totally improvised. I was just telling them that I want this and this, and they were just moving as they felt. And we shot these scenes as documentaries, and also the scenes with the girls when they were talking in the beginning. It's totally improvised. It was not, yeah. Actually, this scene was different when we wrote it. There was the dancing, and there was another thing that we shot, but we didn't use. And when we were shooting, I felt that I want them to talk to each other. So we did this, and we shot it like a documentary. So it was mainly when we were shooting, we were deciding to go as if we're doing a documentary, that they were totally free to move with some details that I know that I want. So they know that these parts of the dialogue are important, and they know that I want them مثلا to move by the window, or I want her to sit here. But the way she goes till she goes مثلا to sit on the couch she's totally free to do whatever. And Magid was very flexible in this, the DOP. So this is how we worked. And the scenes, and actually we kept shooting a lot. I had like hours and hours of material, because I kept shooting all the time. And whether by improvised or during or the scenes, even the scenes were like changed when we were shooting, and not all of the takes were the same, because I would start in a way and then I wouldn't feel it's working, so I would change everything and we would start again.
It's actually, I wanted to ask you about the editing. Was it more challenging given how much improvisation there was? Because you're saying like the takes weren't consistent, and I'm sure the coverage was also not always consistent with, you know, your straight up editing style. So how was the post-production for you? Was a lot of the film being made in the editing, or how was that experience?
Well, the editing was like rewriting the film again, because we had this tons of material, and Khaled was really very, very good. He's like the best editor I've worked with since I started working in cinema, because what he did was he watched every single thing that we did, and he would, I would have like a certain vision for the scene, and I would try it out. And then he would tell me to wait, to go inside, because I was editing it at home. So he would tell me, go to your room, go do something. I want to try something. So he was always trying things out. And usually he was right, actually. Usually he was really, he had a point of view of what was happening inside. So the process, it was complicated. It was not easy in the editing, because a lot of the material was good. Actually, a lot of material was really good, and I was cutting scenes that I really loved, but I had to. And Khaled helped me in this, because emotionally I was attached to certain scenes, and I had to remove them because they didn't work at the end. So yeah, it was a long process. And we changed chronologically how the scenes are told. Some of the scenes were not on the same, they were not written in the same place in the script.
How long did it take you overall to make this film, from when you had the idea, from the script to when it was made?
5 years. Yeah, alhamdulillah. 5 years. It was 2015 we started writing, and we were like writing for 2 years maybe, and then we started trying to get funds, and we were always rejected. We got rejected for 3 years everywhere till 2018, and the first time we got anything was in Buna, because I pitched, because it was the first time for me to pitch the film. Before it was always the file, and they were not convinced about what I was trying to do. and they felt that it's not there. What you're talking about is not there in the script. So it was the first time to pitch in Guna, and we got money there. And we started shooting for 3 days with one of my friends' money. He became the producer, Sameh. And then we stopped for 2 months because we didn't have money. And then we had money from Francophonie with Dora Bouchoucha. So we went back to the Azi, and we started shooting again for like 7 or 8 days. And then we stopped for 5 months. During those 5 months, I was editing, and I rewrote the Alexandria part. I rewrote it completely from the beginning to the end. I changed the ending, and I changed the way it starts, and I changed a lot after shooting, actually. So actually, I shot another ending when I was shooting in Zazi. There was another ending, and I shot it, and then I changed it. And rewrote the whole thing. Mahmoud rewrote it with me. So Mahmoud, he rewrote everything again. We started casting for the guy because we didn't have one. We didn't have one. We when we started shooting, we didn't have the Ahmed. So we started doing the casting, and from the casting we got the actor, and we did like 3 months of rehearsals till we started shooting again with Hevzi's money. But Hevzi got in, and we finished the shooting.
You really made it like a doc, huh? You were rewriting as you were filming. Nobody does that, but it shows. I think it comes across in the film in so many ways. But I'm curious about the casting of the girls too. Were they some of the influencers you met through Mahmoud, or how did you find them? And then also the parents and the neighbors. It feels like most of the actors are from there somehow. Is that true?
Yeah, but some of the neighbors are from there, actually. Some of the neighbors in the scenes they were with us in the building, and we asked them if they would like to join in the scene, and they did. Oh. So the girls, we did a lot of, the casting, it was like for a year, and I met like more than 250 girls. My assistant director, actually, he met all of them. I didn't meet all of them, but I saw all of their tapes. And then it was like 30 girls. I started meeting 30, and then it was 10, and then it was 4. It was 2 and 2. I was choosing between it's either these 2 sisters or these 2 sisters, and both of them were not in Cairo. Till I chose them, Basmela and Basant, and they're both from Alexandria, actually. And what I was looking for was I was not looking for actors to do the roles, because that was not the way I wanted to make the film. I was looking for girls who had something similar of the character, or who could have like an inner world or something that they can share in the film. To have an input. So actually, Basant and Basmala both had this. When I was doing the audition with them, I liked them as human beings, and they were very. And Basmala was very confident. She was really confident for her age, and she was 13 at the time. And Basant, when she came, she was wearing blue contacts. She looked totally different. But I felt something about her, and I told her to remove them, and we started doing the audition with the bus scene, and I told her just to lie about her life, and she kept on lying and saying stuff that didn't happen, and she was very good. She was very good, because you could totally feel that there's something wrong with what she's saying. That's why I liked her.
They're not actually professional actors, right?
No, not at all.
Yeah, I think it worked in your favor, the fact that they're amateurs, or like still not professional actors yet. But they're both great.
Yeah, I love them. I love all of them here. The thing is, I have an opinion about people who want to act. Usually, I'm not even interested in people who want to act. يعني whenever someone tells me I want to act, this is a turn off for me. I don't want to work with people who want to act. يعني all of the actors in the film, they were coming just to try things out, or it was not they were not aiming for acting. So that's why maybe I liked them, because they were like enjoying themselves. They were playing. It was not there was no pressure. They didn't want to get things right. So all of them, even Ahmed Hussein, he works in a bank, and he was not thinking about doing this. It was okay for him to try it out.
Very interesting. Okay, so my next question takes us away a little bit from the making of the film, and it takes us more towards the reception, I think. So how do you feel about the film being described as a feminist film or a work of women's cinema? How do you feel about this label? Do you feel like it helps or not? Do you feel like it represents your work? And has the film been described in those terms, or not really?
See, I never think about what people write, whether it's good or bad. It's I think it's their own point of view. It never really makes a difference for me, because what I wanted to say and what I wanted to do, I really made it in the film. And this is the only time in cinema that I really made what I wanted to do. So I feel very satisfied, and I'm okay. Write whatever you want about the film. It's fine. Whether or not it's feminist, I feel it is feminist, of course, but it's not. I think I'm a feminist, but without reading any books about feminism. I really don't read about it, but at the same time, I do believe in equality, and I think feminism is about equality, and that's it. That the woman can be whatever she wants. This is for me what is feminism. So if it's like this, then okay, it's a feminist film, because I really believe that women should be whatever they want.
It's a great way to put it. I mean, it's keeping it simple and real. And so, okay, another question also about the reception. So the film has been screened at a bunch of really big festivals, and it's having its release in the UK and hopefully soon in Egypt. Do you ever worry about this sort of like the fact that the film is getting all this international attention? What are your expectations for the local release? Do you feel like this like schism between international and local audiences, do you think it's relevant? Do you think it's real? Or do you think that this film can appeal to both audiences, both inside of Egypt and outside the same way?
I think it can appeal for both. But at the same time, the people who my audience in Egypt, I think, are the girls who I made the film about, because we did like a test screening for several girls from the same background, and they cried a lot, and they were so engaged in the film. So it's so I believe that this is the audience of the film in Egypt. I don't know, maybe of course there will be cinephiles and people who are interested in cinema. That's okay, but I believe it can do something with these girls. I'm not sure about the middle, because I tried with some of my friends who are mothers, and they have like teen daughters and stuff, and they were shocked about the film, and they had like this fear about their girls. But I don't know how the other people will react to it.
Yeah, we'll see soon. Hopefully it will come to Zawiya, I'm hoping. We're getting there. My last question, there are actually two questions in one. So one has to do with, what would you say was the biggest challenge you faced while making the film? And yeah, let's just keep it there for now. And then...
The biggest show was getting the money, of course, because no one was really interested in what I was doing. And at the time I had like a TV series which was a big hit, and everyone was telling me, why are you going to make this film? You have a career in TV now, and no one, even the producers I worked with before, they were not interested in the film at all. So that was it was challenging because no one was interested, whether inside of Egypt or outside. And the European funds also, it was, they didn't feel that there was anything much happening in the film, and that it's too subtle. We don't understand what's the problem. So this was the biggest challenge, because neither of the two parties were really interested in making it.
But then you managed to get basically everyone on board in the end, right? Like there are so many producers, there are so many funds.
No.
Do you think this changed once you basically got the money from Guna, and then it sort of like snowballed into getting all these funds, or what do you think changed?
No, not from Guna. I think when we started shooting, when we started to have material, we started getting the funds.
Okay.
But before, and I have to say that I couldn't have made it without a friend who decided to invest in the film to make us to help me in the shooting. And the other one was Dora. Dora really liked the film from the beginning. Even when they were asking us to make changes, she told me that don't change anything. This is the film you want to do. It's either they're on board or they're not. It was other producers or investors who were asking for changes. And she really believed in it. So this made a huge difference for me, even not just for that she got us money, but for the fact that she always kept telling me, don't change anything. Just keep it as it is.
Yeah. Maybe we should wrap up by talking about your next projects. Do you have any, or are you going to take like a couple of years off after this 5-year journey? Like, what is planned?
I have another project with Mahmoud, but we're still in the beginning in writing, and I'm working on a TV series that's a commercial TV series. So I have a parallel career in TV. So I'm going back to TV to do a series, and then I'll go back to working on my next project.
Great. Well, good luck, Ayten, and thank you again for joining us. Thank you all so much for watching. Souad is playing in cinemas in the UK starting August 27th. Please do spread the word. Good night.